I'll call the November 30th, 2022 Commissioners' meeting to order. Welcome, everyone, on this beautiful rainy day, last day in November. We welcome back our veteran Don Bradley to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and John Kleindentz, our county engineer, to lead us in the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you join me in a moment of prayer? Lord, we come to you today in the magical time between Thanksgiving and where we thank you for all that we have, and the upcoming holiday season of all faiths, where we all strive to make things better and everything as it should be. And we make promises for what we're going to do and how good we're going to be next year. As we celebrate this joyous holiday season, help us to be joyful and give us strength. Let each of us be as good a person as we can be. Let each of us as conditionally love everyone we can without prejudice or bias. Let us each give as much as we can to those in need, and let us each help as many as we can, everywhere we can, and anytime we can. All of these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 16th, 2022 Board of Commissioners meeting as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I'll open up for any public comment as it relates to items on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items below for the Office of Children, Youth, and Families and the York County Planning Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There's quite a few here, so let me just page through. Okay, we're on to new business.
I'll make a motion to approve the software maintenance purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Information Technology Services Department and CDWG, Chicago, Illinois, for VM backup software licenses from December 21st, 2022 through December 20th, 2023, for a total cost of $31,293.58 under a PA CoStarz contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Information Technology Services Department and CDWG, Chicago, Illinois, for Microsoft 365 backup services from February 10th, 2023 through February 9th, 2024, for a total cost of $30,378.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve a First Amendment of lease between the County of York on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and York Building Products Company, Inc., York, Pennsylvania, to extend its current Law Enforcement Center lease agreement through December 31st, 2035, at a total cost of $564,296.30 paid from the annual budget.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and Kyle King's here representing the District Attorney's Office to share a few comments.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Certainly, if there are any questions, happy to entertain that. But I did just want to take a moment and come over here today and thank you for your continued support and advocacy of not only the Law Enforcement Center, but our law enforcement officials here in York County, including our county detectives. Commissioner Hoke, I know you were in on this from the ground floor,
Right.
Beginning about 5 years ago when Dave took office, but to take a dream and put it into reality now, to have a one-stop shop for not only our local law enforcement, but our state and federal partners has truly become a game changer in what we do each and every day. And in fact, I was out in Westmoreland County with our colleagues in their DA's office on Monday. And at the end of last year, after their DA took office, this was one of her first stops to come and see what we have there, and I know a number of Dave's colleagues have done similar things. And so this really has become a model for law enforcement offices, for DA's offices, as far as what we have here. And so we should be really proud of that. I know it is a large price tag, and that certainly does not go unnoticed. But I wanted to take an opportunity to come over here on behalf of Dave and thank you for your continued support. Mr. Monsky, I know you're new. If anytime you want to take a tour of that facility, if you just reach out to me, we'd love to get you down there just to show you what all is down there. And so if there are any questions, happy to entertain that. But I did just want to take a moment to come over and thank you all.
Thanks, Kyle. I would just add, it's a great example of a lot of departments, just state, county, federal, collaborating together for our community. So it definitely is a best practice across the Commonwealth.
Thank you.
My only question about the timing of the extension to 2035, was that just a number?
Yeah, I think it was just an
Negotiated.
opportunity. I think this was communications between us and York Building Products, because obviously, as you know, going through that process, we wanted to have a facility that was located in the city
Right.
or near the city, which is near those major thoroughfares, so it was convenient for all law enforcement, easy to get to interstates. And so that really does narrow down what buildings
Availability,
are
right.
available. And so I think we have ourselves in not only a good situation, but with a good partner there. And so we just wanted to lock that opportunity in. I think it certainly benefited their business and benefited
Right.
us. So I think that's why we took that
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I have no problem with it, just with the term was, yeah, this is the first time we renewed, right?
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
it is.
okay.
Any additional questions? Thanks for coming over,
Thank you,
Kyle.
appreciate it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to authorize the purchasing department to solicit bids for various fuel.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and Jamison Door Company, Hagerstown, Maryland, to provide a replacement kitchen freezer door for a total cost of $11,314.78.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and Clark Service Group, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to provide a 3-year proactive maintenance contract to have the prison kitchen equipment serviced for a total cost of $38,650 for the period of January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and Keefe Commissary Network, St. Louis, Missouri, to provide a 1-year 3% commission reduction for a period of December 1st, 2022 to December 1st, 2023.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the York County Prison and SSM Industries, Inc., New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, for the removal and replacement of LAARS Lars water heater for a total cost of $31,620 under a PA CoStarz contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a purchase between the County of York on behalf of the Department of Emergency Services 911 and B. Moyer Radio Communications of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, for 150 tone and voice pagers and accessories for fire and EMS agencies for a total cost of $90,041.80 under a PA CoStarz contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve a contract between the County of York on behalf of the Information Technology Services and Bitney Pose, Stamford, Connecticut, to provide bulk mail services upon successful contract negotiations.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I make a motion to authorize the chief clerk to execute a settlement agreement between the County of York and former employees retroactive to November 18th, 2022.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve a transportation alternative set-aside project responsibility agreement between the County of York, County of Cumberland, and the West Shore Historical Society for the purpose of transferring ownership of York County Bridge Number 257 to the West Shore Historical Society.
I will second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve a tax refund register 2022-18 authorizing payment of York County real estate tax refunds totaling $12,765.48.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve the weekly disbursements for the week of November 23rd, 2022 totaling $8,446,918.57.
I'll second the
I
motion.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve Resolution 2022-29, a request for funding in the amount $458,868 by Mission First Housing Group for the rehabilitation and preservation of the Princess Street Apartments in West York Borough. The funding will be allocated from the county's Home Investment Partnership Program and will be extended to the project in the form of a zero-interest deferred loan for a secured term of 15 years.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I see Dory and Joanna here. Could you talk a little bit about this project?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm just going to give you a little background on the project so that we're all familiar with where it's at and what it does for the community. Princess Street Apartments is located at 1239 West Princess Street and has been existing part of the long-term affordable housing stock in York County for 30 years. The original brick structure was built in 1899 and was home to the Ashley and Bailey Silk Mill. Years later, the building was better known for the warehouse facility for Lenhart Brothers Furniture. Because of its long-term history and significance in the community, it is now included on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1992, the then vacant building was purchased and rehabilitated into 28 units of affordable rental housing for low-income, and it was used low-income housing tax credits from the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, and York County rental rehabilitation money was used to rehabilitate the building into 28 affordable units. Mission First Housing Group acquired the building recently in 2018, and it continues to run now as affordable housing. All the units are occupied. There is a waiting list for the community. But after 30 years, you can imagine the needs, the rehabilitation needs of the building. West York Borough recently did inspection of the building, and we received a pretty long list of items that need to be addressed. In December 2021, we were here in front of the commissioners, and it was approved through resolution the use of $166,803 of CBDG revolving loan fund and $723,556 in home program funding. Since then and now, we're back again with a recommendation from our Housing and Community Development Loan Committee for an additional allocation of funds of $450,000 from the CBDG, Community Development Block Grant CV funds, and an additional $458,868 of home program funding. The additional funds will be allocated to the increase in materials. Increases of all materials we know have gone up. Construction costs have gone up. More specifically, it's the windows in the building. There are 203 windows in this building, and the cost to replace these windows following the guidelines of the historic register, it'll cost about $1 million. Just a little under $1 million. Other items that we're going to address on the building is the roof. We're also going to address some masonry repointing that needs to be done, the parking lot repaving, and some other minor things, but the funding comes out to a total cost of $1,799,227. But at the end, the entire building envelope, the outside of the building, will have been rehabilitated and hopefully last another 30 years. So, you have any questions?
I just a suggestion, you might want to, as you're on this journey, reach out to Kim Hogeman, because she had to do a lot with getting the Yorktown Hotel and meeting historic guidelines. So she
Guidelines.
may be able to provide some value and help you guys.
Yep, we will do that. Yes, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Uh-huh.
Thanks. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve Resolution 2022-30 on behalf of the Community Development Department of the York County Planning Commission, authorizing the following changes to the 2020 Annual Action Plan and the 2022 Annual Action Plan as amended for funding by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Washington, D.C., and is listed below in the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to approve Resolution 2022-31, an emergency repair to York County Bridge 235 on Cabin Hollow Road to be completed by Nauer Contracting in the amount of $26,490. Such emergency repair is necessary due to damage to the bridge, which resulted in closure after inspection. Repair work will commence by December 5th, 2022.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There were no executive sessions. In regards to new business, we do have one item regarding the preliminary budget for 2023. That preliminary budget has been posted on our website. It's also available in print for those to view, should they like, at the Commissioner's office here on the second floor. The proposed budget for 2023 is $693,112,553. 65% of that budget comes from special revenue and fiduciary funds, which amounts to roughly $440 million. Those typically are federal streams and state streams funding. However, the funding we do get from the state and federal government is not sufficient to fund the mandated programs the county needs to execute on. So the county will need to take roughly $22 million from our general fund to close the gaps in those mandated programs, which leaves roughly 35%, which comes to around $253 million that we will need to balance the budget into 2023. The general fund's primary source of revenue, as most folks probably know, comes from real estate taxes, and those revenues are projected to be around $189 million. At the end of the day, the proposed budget keeps the millage rate the same as it is right now at 6.9 mils. So what that means is no tax increase to the county taxes in York County. Just a few other comments to share. The largest portion that makes up the budget is wages and benefits. So 50% of the county budget is linked to, 57% of the general fund budget is linked to wages and benefits. So that's what we have to report today. It will be out for view on website and in our office for the next 20 days with the anticipation that the Board of Commissioners will approve that sometime between now and the end of this year. I do want to thank, I know Tyler's not here today, our Chief Financial Officer, but thank him, Greg Munski, Greg Bauer, Barber, for their help in pulling the budget, proposed budget together for the county. So with that, I will move on to any other business. I'll open it back up for public comment. If you could just state your name and municipality and 3 minutes.
Yes, Janice Links, Lower Allen Township, West Shore Historical Society. I came to speak on behalf of the Sheepford Road Bridge. It's been a long, winding, sometimes a little bit rocky road, but the important thing is where we are today. So I want to thank you on behalf of the Friends of Sheepford Road Bridge, the West Shore Historical Society, and myself for all the time, effort that you put into saving our bridge. I'd also like to thank Heather Bittner, I see she's here today, for all of her work and effort in making this project a success. The preservation world is applauding everyone who's been involved in this. I look forward to exciting days ahead, the day that the bridge is removed. Think of what that will be like, and more importantly, the day that it is returned fully rehabilitated. I like to use the word restored, but PennDOT really is a stickler about rehabilitated, so we'll go with that. There will be celebrating tonight, so if your ears are ringing, it's because we are toasting you. So thank you very much. And if there's any chance for a photo op after this with the agreement or whatever, that'd be great. If not, thank you.
Okay.
I would just add, also, let's thank our friends in Cumberland County as
Yes,
well, because
and-
they were part of this journey with us.
And I was there on Monday
Okay,
doing
great.
the same as I'm
Great,
today.
thanks,
So
Denise.
yes, much appreciated.
Yep, thanks. Any other public comment? If I could have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned, and we will move on to salary board.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from November 16th, 2022 Salary Board meeting as submitted.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll open it up for any public comment. All right, move on to next motion.
I make a motion to approve the positions, salaries, hours of work, and fringe benefits as provided by existing collective bargaining agreements or as set forth in the York County Employee Handbook or York County Policy Manual for the following departments and row offices as stated below, with no additional benefits or concessions as otherwise noted, and they're listed in the agenda.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. An executive session of the Salary Board was held on November 29th for the purpose of discussing general personnel matters to include discussion on salary modifications, job description reviews, and reclassification reviews related to the Treasurer's Office, the prison, the Human Services Department, facilities, court administration, various legal offices, and the Prothonotari's Office. The Salary Board discussed and received information and advice regarding such matters. The Salary Board did not adopt any policy, procedure, or take any formal action on such matters. Any items upon which action has been requested would be included as a motion on the agenda. I'll open it back up for public comment. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. And have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you in December.